Good evening, it's April 3rd, 2025, Thursday, the fourth week of Lent. It's my pleasure and honor to be speaking with the humble hero of World War II, Mr. John J. Jeckovich.
Oh boy.
How are you doing today, Mr.
Hey,
Jeckovich?
I'm doing great.
I like your fancy new clothes you got on.
New clothes?
They look very nice on you.
These are all old clothes. Look at this.
Well, old, 2 days old, I guess you could call that old. But I heard you had a special visitor today.
Oh yeah.
How'd you and Amber get along today?
Oh good, we came along good.
Amber Nicole Jeckovich is Mr. Jeckovich's great-granddaughter. She comes to visit 4 or 5 times a week. She's a full-time missionary and a full-time surfer. She lives right on the ocean, and she can roll out of her bed and be in the sand. But still, the Atlantic Ocean sometimes is not good enough for surfers. She travels all over the world. She's been to every country surfing. And just most recently, before the
She
fires...
spent 7 hours cleaning the house today. 7 hours. I said she would be cleaning. She's still cleaning those damn houses. Yeah. She's sitting here falling asleep.
Yeah.
7 hours she worked in the damn house.
Is a lot of work, but she surfed all around the world. And she before the fires in Malibu, she spent 3 months there surfing. So there wasn't a country she hasn't gone to, but the point of this being a full-time missionary, she's got a good heart and she's got great empathy. So she makes the trek all the way from her place 4 or 5 days a week to spend some time with your great-grandfather. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
I like your new sweater. I'm trying to think who sent that to you.
Who did?
That's a nice new sweater. I can't remember who sent it to you.
Oh, this is an old one.
Oh, it is? Well, it looks very attractive on you. So now we're in the 4th week of Lent. I heard you went to church today.
Yeah.
Did you have Holy Communion?
Had communion too.
Oh, that's wonderful. That is so wonderful. Mr. Jeckovich was born a Roman Catholic. He'll die a Roman Catholic. And we jokingly say there's 2 people in this world. Those who are Roman Catholics and those who want to be Roman Catholics.
Yeah.
Mr. Jeckovich's mother, Anna Target Jeckovich, was a devout Roman Catholic. And she prayed for Mr. Jeckovich's safe return from World War II. The rosary every night. You must remember the rosary is the most powerful tool in the world. Powerful tool. She prayed the rosary every night, and Mr. Jeckovich's friend in Paris, France, a former nun, who later got into the French resistance, she prays the rosary for Mr. Jeckovich. And we believe this is the only reason why he made it out alive. Even though during World War II, Mr. Jeckovich was shot in the shoulder by a sniper. He was beat up and stabbed.
Lost a hip.
Lost a hip. You got trench foot, frostbite.
Yeah, I got this trench foot tonight.
And it's still bothering you.
Yeah.
80 long years later. It's still bothering him. Yeah, what sacrifices. And he got hit by a dirty bomb. And the dirty bomb is a nasty bomb the Nazis put together. And inside this bomb, they put bolts, screws, nails, razors, old tools, anything that when the bomb explodes over the U.S. Army combat vets, it does great damage. Mr. Jeckovich still has pieces of shrapnel in his leg. The same bomb that stuck to shrapnel in Mr. Jeckovich's leg blew off the head of another teenage military combat soldier, Donald Lape. Head was completely severed, and the only thing left hanging on it was his glasses on one ear. Mr. Jeckovich closed his eyes, removed the glasses, took one dog tag number, and wrote a beautiful letter to Donald Lape's mother and father. War has death on every side. Who hates wars most? The guys on the front line. The guys on the front line hate wars most. All the big shot politicians sitting back in Washington, they might say they hate war, but it's a great big money machine. We've had wars since the beginning of time, and we'll have wars for another 1,000 or so years if the universe can survive. So mothers, teach your kids to be tough. If Mr. Jeckovich wasn't street smart during World War II, he never would have got out. Teach them to be tough. Don't make your boys sissies. Make them tough. Give them discipline. Make them do chores. Make them have responsibilities. Mothers, don't ruin your kids, because when you're gone, which will be probably soon, you'll be pushing up daisies. Your kids won't be able to survive without your weekly paycheck and your weekly help. Let them be tough. Mr. Jeckovich grew up tough. If he wasn't street smart in World War II, he never would have made it, right?
Right.
Yeah, Mr. Jeckovich's father died at 43 years old. Illegal immigrant from Russia came through Ellis Island, breaking his ass, working 3 jobs to give his kids a better life than he had. He grew up in a nasty old, his father grew up in a nasty old factory town in the coldest part of Russia, and you worked your ass off. You worked 20 hours a day, and when you dropped from exhaustion, that was your bed most probably for that night. So Mr. Jeckovich's father, Marion Jeckovich, worked very hard to give his kids a better life, and then at 43 he died of a massive heart attack making cement, turning cement. And from that point on, Mr. Jeckovich, at 11 years old, took care of his mother to her demise at 89. And that's what the book title comes from. Their Mother's Sons. Their Mother's Sons. That's the book, from Mr. Jeckovich at 11 all the way to his mother's death at 89, taking care of her. Yeah. I get 100 text messages a week, or a month I should say. How much is your book and where can I buy it?
Can't sell it.
Book is not for sale now, or never will be for sale. It's not about money. Certainly Mr. Jeckovich does not need any money. He's very well off. It's about taking that book and sharing goodwill with the next generation. Sharing great goodwill. Making beautiful ideas for the younger generation so they don't have to have it as hard as Mr. Jeckovich did. You know, working smarter and not harder.
22.
Working smarter and not harder. But one copy of Mr. Jeckovich's book is at the World War II History Museum in New Orleans, Louisiana. And that's the only copy that's out there, but there's never money involved. It's not about money. He doesn't need money, doesn't want money. It's about to share life experiences so other people can maybe learn a little bit about making an easier life, a more family life. Keep in mind we have 90,000 divorces a year in Florida. How long were you married for, Mr. Jeckovich?
69 years.
You learn right there. Mr. Jeckovich, when he engaged to his beautiful wife, Delphine Stulak Jeckovich, they went to the Roman Catholic Basilica in Lackawanna, New York. He asked for her hand in marriage. She accepted, and they both went to the altar of the basilica and said a very short but beautiful prayer asking for a long and healthy marriage, long and happy marriage. How did that prayer work out?
That's 69 years.
Prayer answered. So remember, what do you give advice? Let's ask you. What do you give advice to young people getting married now?
Take who you marry.
Yeah. 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 Just like when you hire someone for your business, remember, it's very important to remember this. Hire slow, which takes your time to vet them. Take your time to understand the person you're hiring. If you don't, you might have a nightmare on your hands. Hire slow and fire fast, which I mean by that. If you don't surround yourself by good people, and you have some screwball that you just hired that is no good, doesn't fit the team, isn't a team player, fire fast, because you're wasting your time. It'll never get better. It'll only be or get worse. The honeymoon stages in these businesses are very short-lived. You don't want to turn out to be someone's rich uncle or aunt taking care of them when they're not producing whatever they need to do at that particular job. So, hire slow, fire fast. Very important, right, Mr. Jeckovich?
Yeah, very good.
So Mr. Jeckovich's mind is like a library. He's owned several businesses, including a laundromat, snowplowing business, construction. Worked at Kimberly-Clark for 35 years. The list is long. So any questions you might have or you want to speak to Mr. Jeckovich, text him at 407-366-0000. 407-366-0000. Or as we say on the beautiful island of Hague Point, Defusky Island, South Carolina, we talk a little differently there. Maybe because, I don't know, we have no one living there but us. But no cars, get there by boat, 8 miles out. No one to bother you. It's a great lifestyle sometime. Sometime when you're tormented with people and phone calls, it makes a miserable life. Try to have a nice life. So as we say on the island, text Mr. Jeckovich at 407-366-0000. 407-366-0000. And Mr. Jeckovich will be glad to speak with you, or Mr. Jeckovich will be glad to ask any of your text messages. But if you want to learn about the book, Mr. Jeckovich has about 400 YouTube podcasts out there. Just Google his name. And you can start from the beginning and go to the end of the book.
18.
Okay. Mr. Jeckovich, you want to read some of the book for us?
No, go ahead.
All right, I'll need your dog tag number.
42965.
Okay. We're going around from the beginning of the book now. We're on chapter 4. This is passes the Owensboro. This is when Mr. Jeckovich is at basic training in Evansville, Indiana. And Owensboro, Kentucky is just a stone throw away.
Yeah.
Okay. And at this point here, he's with his friend Smith, and they're meeting Smith's girlfriend, Smith's girlfriend Betsy, at a motel. And then they brought along, which you didn't know, a blind date named Elaine.
Yeah.
Okay, let's pick up the pieces. I liked Elaine, and what was more, she liked me. She was a great revelation. I thought of what she would have said if I asked her to stay at the motel. Uh-oh. The thought was highly academic, as I do not believe I would ever ask her to stay at the motel. With that little exercise in moral self-righteousness over with, I promptly fell asleep. The next morning, after I showered and shaved, I went into the adjoining room for breakfast. It consisted of hot cakes. Where are you staying, at the church now?
Yeah, the church downstairs, yeah.
I showered and shaved. I went into the adjoining room for breakfast. It consisted of hot cakes, sausage, scrambled egg, hot biscuits, and coffee. The women volunteers were outstanding. You remember their faces still?
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful ladies. Didn't you one time say you ate 30 pancakes?
Yeah.
Where was that at?
What?
When you ate 30-some pancakes?
That was in Europe. That was in Europe.
How could one man eat 30 pancakes?
Well, I don't think I think that's a big exaggeration,
So
yeah.
you didn't eat that many?
Yeah,
But you ate a lot.
I ate a lot, yeah.
You're hungry.
Well, yeah, we didn't eat any good meals for about a week.
And so you just really chopped
Yeah,
down, right?
yeah.
The women volunteers were outstanding. By the way, speaking of World War II, 16,400,000 beautiful young men and women participated in the war. Get that, 16,400,000 young men and women participated in World War II. Now, in 2025, we only have approximately 6,000 World War II combat, let's discuss, combat vets left. He's a combat vet. Front line. He wasn't no rear echelon now. No rear echelon.
No.
And we're losing him at a rate of 150 a day. So do your math. Text Mr. Jeckovich. one of the few living World War II combat vets left. For example, the reason why Mr. Jeckovich was on front line is because you didn't enlist, right?
No,
What happened?
I was drafted. So I stayed with my mother.
Mr. Jeckovich waited to get drafted so he could spend more time caring with his mother. Now that's the ultimate sacrifice. For example, if you wait to get drafted during a world war in the Army, you're going right to the front line. Another example, one of his brothers enlisted, and he never made it to out of the United
He's a
States.
Coast Guard.
Out of the United States.
Yeah,
He never made it out of the United States. He
No.
was teaching people how to do what?
yeah.
What did he teach them to drive?
Jeeps, how to drive Jeeps.
So, if Mr. Jeckovich was enlisted, he might have got the same job his brother received, which was staying in the United States, teaching new recruits how to drive Jeeps. Did he have some special talent to drive Jeeps?
I wrecked this car at a fire hydrant one time.
So he had no special talents.
Yeah, I know.
And he never made it to the front lines.
Never got overseas.
Yeah. So there's the example between enlisting and being drafted. But must understand, Mr. Jeckovich made the sacrifice to get drafted because he needed more time to stay with his mother. So he prolonged it as long as he could. And Mr. Jeckovich was in many wars. The last war he was in was the Battle of the Bulge. And that was a last-ditch effort. The last-ditch effort by Hitler to conduct and give more pain to the American soldiers and destroy more property. That took place in the Ardennes forest. And no one in their right mind ever thought they'd be fighting in the Ardennes forest. Number one, the trees are very close together, which it makes it impossible to bring supply, tanks, jeeps, and soldiers through. And number two, it was the coldest winter of record in that part of Germany.
Or Belgium.
What?
Belgium. Yeah.
Belgium is the coldest winter of record. But Hitler did it anyways because he was on his way out. He was on his way out, so he figures, let me just take a few more people with me, take thousands of more people. So he sent in everything he had. 600,000 soldiers, or Nazi soldiers, and 6,000 tanks. And they busted through the forest, casualties were high, and they caught Mr. Jeckovich and others off guard because no one ever thought they would be fighting this type of war in the Ardennes forest. So they got stuck, the American troops got stuck in Bastogne, and they knew they had to hold off the Nazis, even though they're outnumbered 10-1. They knew they had to hold off the Nazis because if the Nazis took a foothold in Bastogne, it would have been disastrous for the American GIs. But it was a long, bloody battle due to the fact that Mr. Jeckovich's troops couldn't get any support because it was snowing, it was cloudy, planes just couldn't go up. It took 3 days to get the planes up to give air power. So as a result, 97% of the guys were lost, but they held Bastogne, which is very important. And the story about Bastogne is this: that was the end of the war, that Hitler's last-ditch effort. But in Bastogne, they held it. Incidentally, when Mr. Jeckovich went into World War II, they were affectionately called the Diaper Division. And why? Because they're all teenagers, right?
Yeah, all 19-year-olds.
All affectionately called the Diaper Division. But when they left, there was a bloody battle in Bastogne. Bloody battle in Bastogne, 90% casualties. But they held Bastogne. And now, instead of being called the Diaper Division, their new name is the Bloody Bastards of Bastogne. See how things change. And then right after that, they ran the asshole Nazis back to Berlin, and shortly Shortly thereafter, on April 30th, 1945, shortly thereafter, Hitler and his mistress, Eva Braun, committed suicide in a bunker under Berlin. It had been clear for the past 2 years that the wheels were coming off of the Nazi regime and that Hitler's plan for a German empire were not to be fulfilled.
Yeah.
The crushing defeat at Stalingrad, the Russians had the most losses, most casualties, when they got defeated in Stalingrad. In fact, there's some vodkas named after Stalingrad today, had killed most of the German forces. Millions died. At the Battle of Berlin, war was raging outside. It was a siege-style attack with the Soviet army cutting off the German citizens inside from everything. So they stopped any type of food going in, anything that
Yeah,
you
starting
survived.
with this, yeah.
Now Hitler had created a bunker underneath Berlin that had his own water and electricity. And he and his right-hand men and Eva Braun withdrew into it. Reports describe Hitler as increasingly unraveled. He was unraveled at the end, right?
Yeah.
And if he hadn't been clear before, he was basically insane. He was insane.
Yeah.
It was now. However, he continued to give the military orders in spite of the obvious defeat. So even though Hitler was insane, he kept on giving orders, and some of the soldiers now are 13 and 14 years old.
Yeah.
Kids didn't know, send them up there, get them slaughtered, never see 15. 40 hours before his suicide, he married Eva Braun in a small civil ceremony and appointed his admiral Karl Dunzit at the head of the state. He and Eva then poisoned themselves with a cyanide capsule. Was cyanide capsules popular during World War II?
Well, that time, yeah.
Did all the soldiers have cyanide capsules?
No, we didn't have them. We didn't have them, no.
Who had the cyanide capsule?
Well, people at top leaders.
So they would rather get that than be tortured.
Yeah, yeah. What they did to Mussolini, they had to have them up, hang up
Kill you.
upside down.
Torture.
Yeah.
Torture. Hanging upside down, that reminds me of asswipe Mussolini. They hung his bare ass upside down in at a gas station in Italy and beat the hell out of him together with baseball bats.
Yeah.
And Hitler didn't want to,
They didn't want to go through that.
he didn't
No.
want to go through that.
7 minutes.
Okay, so he and Eva then poisoned themselves with cyanide capsules. Hitler shot himself in the head for good measures, so he didn't want to try to survive if he could have survived on the cyanide. And their bodies were cremated before the Soviet army reached the building. 8 days later, the German army surrendered unconditionally. So that was the last war. You were in it. Battle of Bulge.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hitler had to give strict orders to everybody once he's dead to burn his bodies because he didn't want to see his body, you know, even though he's dead, molested and hung up on a cross or hung upside down or spit on or pissed on. He didn't want to see that. He didn't want to see that. He was a complete animal. He's burning and rotting in hell right now, I assure you that. And that was the end of the war. However, in the Pacific, the war was raging on.
Oh, yeah.
Did you think you might have been sent to the Pacific after?
Well, they were thinking about sending us there. They had advanced team warfare already.
So there was good possibilities once you got out of Europe, send you over to Japan.
Yeah, Patton wanted to go over right
Oh,
away.
tell us about Pat. He was probably the only one that wanted to go there. What do you?
Yeah, he's neighbor. He's fighting with Eisenhower all the time. He wanted to be famous. He wanted to be famous.
So in European theater, there wasn't much more fighting for Patton,
Oh,
and that's what kept him going was the fighting. So he desperately wanted to get to Pacific to fight. Desperately.
Yeah.
But what happened? He got into an automobile type of accident,
yeah,
and he died in his 50s, even though he looked 80 years old.
yeah.
War will do it to you. Minutes, please.
But he had a concussion. They didn't treat it.
Yeah. But he looked 80. See, war will do it to you.
Yeah.
War will make Father Time move faster.
5:18.
5 minutes?
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Yeah, Father Time will.
Wear you down.
Just like being a president of where you're asked out. I got some text messages. Mr. Jeckovich, do you feel up to?
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, these are text messages from all around the United States. Some are good, some are bad, but they're important to the people that write them. So if you don't want to answer any of them, you just say so, okay? Mr. Jeckovich, have you ever gone to a psychic?
No.
Mr. Jeckovich, are you a good singer?
A singer? No.
No. Mr. Jeckovich, what was your proudest accomplishment?
The proudest?
Your proudest accomplishment?
Staying alive.
Ah. Mr. Jeckovich, you have an unbelievable memory, but do you remember where you went on your first date and who you were with?
On my first date, there was the Bazzelli's daughter, and then we went to a drive-in.
I'll be damned. How the hell do you remember 90-some years ago?
Yeah.
Wow. By the way, Mr. Jeckovich was born in 1925. This year, 2025, he'll be knocking on the door of 100. You're knocking on that door.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, Mr. Jeckovich. Now, who was this person that was your first date?
Say again?
Who was this person on your first date? What was her name?
My first date?
Yeah, what was her name?
Bazzelli. Irene.
Did they have a delicatessen or something?
Yeah.
I see. How was her mother and father?
Well, they had that Bazzelli dairy there.
They were immigrants from Poland?
Huh?
Immigrants from Poland?
Yeah.
Did they speak Polish at home, or did they speak English?
No, they spoke English with a broken accent, though.
Ah, but you never had a broken accent.
No.
Why?
Because we spoke English. My father said we're American, we speak English.
So your father put his foot down.
Yeah.
He said, when we're at home, English only.
Yeah.
Did your father speak with a broken accent?
No, my mother did more.
Your mother had a broken accent?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's interesting. Mr. Jeckovich, what is your favorite conversation topic?
Conversation topic?
Yeah. What do you like talking about the most?
What's this world coming to?
Oh, yeah. What is it coming to?
Nobody knows where they're going now. Trump's got everything all screwed up again.
But you were born during the Great Depression, which was very harsh. In 1925, the Great Depression. How did that affect you and your family?
We didn't feel it. We had warm houses. We had food for Christmas, Easter, supper. We got new clothes for Easter.
You glided right through it.
Yeah.
Minutes, please. You glided right through it.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
One and a half.
Wow. And at that time, you were living on 3063 Orleans Avenue, right?
Yeah.
It was
That was a nice neighborhood then.
Well, describe to me how the neighborhood looked. That'd be very interesting to know.
Well, there was only about 3 houses on the street. It was a dirt road. It wasn't paved or nothing. And you could look out and you could see the Hyde Park Stadium over there because the field was all open. Right from our porch right over to the deputy's quarters.
Was there deer?
Huh?
Was there deer and raccoons?
No, those raccoons, the deers would come out at night, yeah.
And you had a creek nearby?
Had
The creek?
yeah,
nearby?
Good Old Creek, yeah.
And what did you do on that?
Well, we skated on it in the wintertime.
Did you ever fish?
Huh?
Did you ever?
No, not in that creek, no.
I see. Minutes.
48 seconds.
And how many years did it take them to pave the roads?
They didn't pave that road for about the next 10 years.
Was it a hardship on your car?
Well, we had an old jalopy. No, my father had that Packard, but it stayed in the garage all the time. He never used it.
Did the Packard get stuck in the road?
No.
And let me try to understand. Your mother and father owned a Packard, but neither one of them drove.
No.
Why do you think that is?
Well, my father bought it. My mother was nothing to do with it.
She had nothing to do with it.
He bought it from a guy at the carburetor.
was a nice one, huh?
Yeah, and he put it in the garage, never used it. He didn't drive.
It was,
Neither of them drove.
did he wash it?
After